What's up, everybody? Let's get going. Hey, my name is TJ McClellan, broker of Fitness Realty. Of course, you know who I am. Today, this training video is going to be all about my open houses. And this is the crazy part. I've had people ask me, well, why do you set up your open houses in a certain way? So I've tried to tell each and every person that talks to me about that, but I started to have the common questions reoccurring, and so I was like, well, this might be an area that I can make a training video about, and make sure that I'm getting out the information that hopefully will help you create your own open house style. So obviously, the way I do things might not be the way you do things. And then obviously, the way I do things you might think is just crazy. So I'm always all about making your business and making sure that you have opportunities to do so. So let's kind of get cracking. I only have one slide to go over. So this is going to be the details we're going to cover. So we're going to talk about timing first. So this is kind of the crazy part. I used to love to do Sunday open houses. I don't love to do that anymore. The way that I like to do it now is to have a Friday night open house and then a Saturday midday, maybe afternoon open house. And then if it's a vacant home, I try to have a Saturday like all day open house, which might be 8 hours long, which sounds kind of crazy. So hear me out. The way I like to have my timing is to give me the most opportunity to have a new buyer walk through the door that's not represented that may want that house so that I can run dual agency with them or be on both sides. That's one of my favorite ways to do that. However, another nice thing is to just have more time so that more people can come in and you can communicate with people and have more conversations, get more comfortable. So, like I said, on timing, I like Friday night open houses. As you get through the winter, during those wintry months, and the daylight hours are really short, it's kind of really difficult to have a nighttime open house. So through the winter, I usually scrap the Friday night open house because people just won't come after 5 o'clock because it's already dark. And then it's just not as safe. So I haven't done an open house on a Friday night in a winter month for a long time. So that might be a good idea. So those Saturday sessions, though, I really enjoy those. In the winter, I try to do them a little early, maybe 10 o'clock to 2 o'clock or 11 o'clock to 1 o'clock if you're only going to do a 2 hour open house. So there's a lot of ways to do that. But I think the timing part is crucial so that you can give your clients the expectations and let them know what times they need to be out of the house. Okay, so that's the way I like to do it on timing. If you guys think you're going to do one on Sunday, maybe you have a downtown condo, and most likely those types of buyers might buy a downtown condo and they're not headed to church or whatever. Not stereotyping it or anything. I'm just saying that if you think the odds are stronger where somebody might actually come on a Sunday, by all means, you can have one. If you're in a community that you think maybe a Wednesday night open house would be successful, go ahead and do that, right? Just communicate that with your sellers so they have expectations. All right, let's talk about signs. So I always try to have a boatload of open house signs with me. That might be 4 to 6 signs, and that's because if I didn't look at Google Maps when I went out to the listing, or I just wasn't paying attention when I went out to the listing, I want to try to map out how many signs I need for the roads to get people from an artery road to the open house, right? So if you're next to Redwood and you only have one turn in or something like that, maybe you only need one sign, and maybe that's kind of the easy route. But if you have a home that's like, let's say in Deep Harriman, where there's 4 or 5 turns before they even get to the open house, that might be kind of difficult and a struggle to get people that are just off the streets to it. Obviously, if you have your MLS loaded with that open house, then a lot of people are seeing that online and they can schedule and they know the directions because they can put it in their phone. But if you're looking for walk-through traffic, the signs are the best thing to do. So make sure you've planned your route out beforehand, take all the signs that you need, and have some extras. That's just kind of what I do. I try to put out 2 on the main road because one might blow over, and so you kind of have a backup. Another thing with signs, I like to buy one big giant flag from Amazon. So you guys have seen it. It's about 16 feet tall, which is gargantuous. It's super easy to put up. It takes like 2 minutes to put up. Really easy, but I always put that flag in at the front door, or not at the front door, but at the property that I'm at, because it really draws the attention to everyone. Maybe one day I might take like 3 or 4 of those and do a flag at each one. However, I'm just nervous that people will steal it because it's probably $80 to $100 each flag. So I probably won't do that in the near future, but maybe one day. So that's all about signs. I love the signs. I love the walk-through traffic. It really gets people talking and getting into your open house. Something that I think you should keep in mind, though, is during times that it is a buyer's market, open houses are pretty much terrible. So you just won't have the walk-through traffic that you really want. And so a lot of times I try to tell my clients, if they want me to do an open house to look busy, then we totally can. But a lot of times it's just not valuable to the sellers. And so if you can't get there to do an open house, it's a good way to just kind of say, hey, in a buyer's market, open houses are not really that beneficial, so maybe we should scrap it. So that's up to you, for you guys to decide and set with your clients. All right, up next is swag. I always love to have a bunch of swag on hand that I can give out to people that are walking through. I now have set my swag table up away from where I'm usually sitting in the open house, and that's so that people don't feel weird about grabbing things off the table. So I usually like to have it in a different room, or if there's a hallway that they have to walk through, I like to put it in the hallway so that they have multiple times to walk past it. And that's so like I'm not sitting there watching them like, are you guys taking any swag? Are you doing it? Are you touching some of it? You know, I want it in an area where they don't mind grabbing something off the table, right? So I love to do that now. That's something that I've kind of seen in my recent open houses. So if you're going to give something away, I try to put that in a certain area or in a better area that maybe people will walk past it multiple times, or if it's away from where you're just watching like a hawk, it's a good way to get people to actually pick it up if it's not where you're looking at. Another thing with swag, though, that can kind of include if you're going to do cookies or protein bars, or if you're going to give something away at the open house, that's a great time to think about it. Like, what am I going to give away today? Is it going to be water and snacks, or is it going to be cookies? Is it going to be individual wrapped crumbles? You know, like, there's a lot of things that you can do and a lot of ways to make yourself stand out. My personal one is the swag, because it just gets the company brand in their face. The other cool part is when the table is away from you, sometimes if they have their realtor there with them, they're going to pick up some of the swag anyways, just because they want some of it. And it's always funny to see what the other realtors have on their face. I apologize. I'm itching my elbow. I got bit by a mosquito, so it's itching like crazy. Woo. Okay. For clients' stuff, what I'm talking about here is if they have a bunch of boxes everywhere, or if they have dogs and they left their dog in a kennel or something like that. Always talk about what your clients are going to leave the home looking like when you get there to do the open house, just so you're not broadsided by something. So in the past, I've had clients say, hey, I've left both of our dogs out in the garage. They're in kennels, but they bark like crazy, so just warn everyone. That's just so you can be prepped. I love to kind of have that conversation before I get there, because honestly, when you get there and then you're blindsided by something that gets a little irritating, you can always work through it, of course, but it's better to know up front. Lastly, what you do with your downtime. So a lot of times in open houses, if it's not a seller's market and it's super, super hot and you priced it aggressively, you're not going to have walkthrough traffic that's really strong. So you're going to have a lot of downtime. So I always think about, well, what am I going to be doing during the downtime? Am I going to be shooting TikTok videos? Am I going to be posting on social media? Am I going to be prospecting for leads? What is it that I'm going to be using or doing during the downtime? I know there's a lot of agents that like to read their books or, do personal stuff or whatever. Me personally, when I'm there doing an open house, I love to try to do real estate business items. A lot of that's because you've checked yourself out of the regular world already to do an open house. So why would you want to put yourself back into doing personal stuff when you can sit there and do some business stuff and help get your career even moving faster? So I always feel like an open house is a great place for me to do work, do business mentality stuff, right? Like really work on my business. But that's just me. If you just got away and you don't have your kids with you, and now it's like reading time, by all means, like use the time that you see and how you see fit. I just like to kind of promote that that's a great time to do business stuff, because you might have 2 hours sitting on your hands, and so you might have 2 hours that you could have made a bunch of posts for social media or whatever. You could have contacted clients. There's a lot of things that I think that you could do during that downtime. So the thing that I wanted to promote here is think about it before you do your open house so that you know what you're going to take with you. For me, I'm taking my phone and my laptop, because then I can shoot TikTok videos, or I can do social media, or I can communicate with our team, or a whole gamut of stuff. But I love to think about it before I get to the open house. Okay, that's how I set up open houses. I probably didn't hit all the details, but I didn't want this video to be too long. If you have suggestions, comments, you can comment down below, or if you have suggestions about what things have worked well for you, write those in the Google chat channel, because we can all learn and we can all grow together. And I'm always supportive of that. So I really appreciate you guys. Love you guys. And this has been another training video. Love you. Bye.